Let's unveil a cold, unvarnished reality that no one in your immediate circle has ever had the raw courage to speak aloud to your face. You are systematically engineered to be weak. From the precise moment you could process human speech, the machinery of society conditioned you to explain your motives, to react defensively to minor slights, to pursue individuals who deliberately ignore your presence, and to petition for basic respect rather than commanding it like an absolute sovereign. You are trained to be the bigger person, to extend unearned forgiveness instantly, to broadcast your raw emotions without a filter, and to exist as an entirely open book, so that the wolves of this world could flip through your pages and weaponize every single chapter against you. And you bought into the deception hook, line, and sinker. You managed to convince yourself that vulnerability equaled fortitude, that immediate emotional reactivity signaled deep passion, and that over-explaining your actions yielded genuine human comprehension. But step back and take a clinical look at the landscape around you. The true architects of modern civilization, the elite figures wielding absolute authority, the ones whose names echo through centuries of history, operate under a completely reversed psychological paradigm. They refrain from explanation, they refuse to react to bait, and they practice a calculated surgical indifference that has brought entire global empires to their knees. Niccolo Machiavelli mapped this exact human architecture over half a millennium ago in the blood-soaked political arenas of Italy. Having watched proud princes collapse into ruin and ruthless tyrants ascend to absolute dominance, he documented a chilling mathematical reality that contemporary minds remain far too fragile to acknowledge. Influence does not belong to the loudest voice in the room, nor does it belong to the most emotionally volatile individual. Dominance belongs exclusively to the single operator who maintains absolute self-governance while every other person in the environment dissolves into panic and chaos. The tactical arsenal this analysis outlines 9 core psychological protocols rooted deeply in Machiavellian strategy and dark psychological theory, engineered to fundamentally reconstruct how you navigate the cutthroat dynamics of modern society. These are not passive philosophical concepts to ponder, nor are they superficial motivational quotes designed for your smartphone wallpaper. These are precision-engineered instruments of psychological warfare. By the time you finish digesting this breakdown, your perspective on human leverage will be completely remolded. You must sit down, lock in your focus, and pay exceptionally close attention, because your traditional understanding of authority is about to be systematically dismantled from the ground up. Protocol 1. The shield of neutrality. The initial protocol serves as the unshakable bedrock for every single strategic maneuver that follows. If you fail to internalize this, the rest of your arsenal is completely useless. You must master the single discipline: never react. When a rival, a colleague, or an adversary attempts to disrespect you, your primal biology immediately urges a counterstrike. Your jaw tightens, your chest heats up, your pulse spikes, and every raw instinct screams at you to fire back a sharp insult, to defend your honor, and to prove on the spot that you are not someone to be crossed. Yet, this is the exact dividing line that separates the master strategist from the powerless amateur. The precise instance you choose to react, you have surrendered the game. You lose every single time, without exception. An emotional reaction signals to your opponent that they possess direct, unhindered access to your internal mental state. It tells them they can reach deep inside your chest, grab your psychological peace, and crush it whenever they feel like throwing a provocation. The moment they realize they can pull your strings, they own you completely. You have transformed yourself into their puppet. Niccolo Machiavelli emphasized in his writings that a wise ruler must never allow his true thoughts, emotions, or internal vulnerabilities to be deciphered by those around him. The split second an enemy maps your emotional triggers, your eventual destruction becomes completely predictable and easily engineered. Strategic note: this approach is not about suppressing your humanity or pretending to be dead inside. It is about achieving absolute impenetrable unreadability. There is a massive cavernous gulf between the two. An emotionless individual is merely inert and passive. An unreadable individual is highly volatile and dangerous. You must train your mind to experience the full spectrum of human calculation internally, while projecting an absolute sheet of ice externally. When insults or corporate politics are hurled your way specifically designed to elicit an angry response to pull a reaction out of you like venom from a wound, your absolute stillness is not a sign of weakness or surrender. It is the most aggressive countermaneuver on the entire board, because nothing on this earth terrifies an aggressor more than attacking an opponent who refuses to flinch. They anticipated a screaming match, a desperate defense, or a sudden retreat. Instead, when you simply meet them with cold, detached, unbothered eyes and say absolutely nothing, you have taken every single ounce of psychological leverage they thought they held and reduced it to absolute dust. Transform yourself into a solid, unyielding stone wall that features no door, no windows, and no entry points. Non-reaction is not passivity. It is psychological dominance in its purest, most terrifying iteration. Protocol 2. The sovereign silence. This strategy directly opposes every single piece of social programming you have been fed since childhood. Listen carefully. Never offer explanations for your actions. Abstain entirely from justifying your path to your adversaries, your competitors, or even your peers, unless doing so serves a highly calculated, explicit tactical objective. The exact minute you enter into an explanation cycle, you have voluntarily subordinated yourself to the listener. You have handed them the gold badge of a magistrate and willingly accepted the degraded role of the accused standing trial. Consider the underlying subtext of your speech. Every time you open your mouth to say, "Allow me to clarify why I did that," what you are actually declaring to the world is, "Your opinion of me is so vital to my stability that I need to reshape your perception before I can be at peace with my own choices." That is raw weakness dressed up in the polite language of reason. Niccolo Machiavelli understood with crystal clarity that a prince who constantly explains his executive decisions to the public actively invites debate. And a ruler who invites debate implicitly fosters public insubordination and rebellion. True authority does not rationalize. It executes, moves forward, and allows the final outcomes to speak with a voice so deafening that any further justification is rendered completely obsolete. Look at high-level power brokers, elite corporate operators, and historical innovators. They do not halt their momentum to conduct focus groups to explain their personal logic or seek consensus. They implement. If you comprehend the move, excellent. If you fail to comprehend it, that remains entirely your operational problem, not theirs. When you offer lengthy explanations to those who have deliberately undermined you, you actively validate their disrespect. You signal that their unearned accusation was fully worth your valuable time and energetic output. When you justify your trajectory to critics who doubted your vision, you feed their resistance rather than starving it into oblivion. Absolute, dead silence following a major decision remains the ultimate display of personal sovereignty. Let your life metrics handle the dialogue while your critics sit stranded, drowning in the heavy vacuum of your total silence. Protocol 3. Surgical indifference. This protocol allows you to neutralize and break adversaries without ever requiring you to lift a single finger. or expend a single watt of personal energy. It relies entirely on calculated, tactical indifference. Most individuals grossly misunderstand the catastrophic psychological impact of being completely ignored. The average person falsely assumes that hostile behavior, loud arguments, or physical confrontations represent the ultimate form of retaliation. In reality, the most devastating action you can take against an opponent is to act as though they do not even occupy physical space on this planet. When you choose to engage in an argument with someone, you are sending a massive signal that they matter enough to fight. When you debate a critic, you are informing them that their words possess enough weight to alter your focus and demand a response. But when you ignore an individual with absolute completeness, when you look straight through them as if they were made of transparent window glass, when their names cause absolutely zero ripple in your subconscious mind, you deal an absolute death blow to their ego. You are categorizing them as completely, undeniably inconsequential. Machiavelli recognized that attention is the foundational currency of real-world influence. What you focus your gaze on, you instantly elevate and empower. What you withdraw your gaze from, you systematically eliminate from existence. Historically, highly effective rulers rarely deployed massive military force for minor domestic provocations. Instead, they utilized calculated, institutional isolation. They excluded targets from conversations, entirely withheld political recognition, and allowed those adversaries to self-destruct under the crushing weight of their own irrelevance. Understand this on a deep, instinctual level. Every single individual who attempts to provoke you online, gossip about your brand, or diminish your reputation behind closed doors is simply auditioning for your attention. It is a desperate, unstable bid for validation from someone they instinctively recognize operates on a vastly superior level of the hierarchy. The precise instant you engage, you reach down and pull them up into your orbit. Refuse the exchange. Let them scream their complaints into empty space while you dictate exactly who earns a slot on your agenda. Protocol 4. Architectural framing. Every human interaction on this planet operates within an invisible boundary, a frame. Every contract negotiation, every corporate board meeting, every interpersonal relationship, and every casual conversation is entirely dictated by whoever establishes the context of that boundary. This is a cornerstone of behavioral manipulation, recognized by Machiavelli long before modern psychology ever put a name to it. The frame dictates the terms through which reality itself is interpreted by the masses. For example, if a colleague or competitor remarks to you in a meeting, "Why are you always so quiet in these discussions?" they are attempting to lock you into a specific, highly disadvantageous frame. The implied context they have set is that your silence is an insecurity, a flaw, or a social deficit. If you reflexively defend yourself by stating, "Oh, I'm just tired today," or "I'm naturally an introvert," you have consciously accepted their architecture. You are now playing by their rules within a sandbox they designed, and you have already lost the exchange. Consider an aggressive tactical reframe instead. If you turn your head, look at them with absolute composure, and reply with a flat tone. "Because I find it highly efficient to speak only when my words provide a direct upgrade to the silence," you instantly shatter their context and install your own sovereign frame. Suddenly, your quiet demeanor is no longer an insecurity. It is an elite, calculated asset. It is a weapon of choice, and they are now the ones forced to stand awkwardly inside your reality, scrambling to adjust. Machiavelli observed that a leader must actively shape public perception because perception consistently overrides objective truth in human affairs. An individual can possess minimal actual leverage, But if the strategic frame surrounding them projects absolute authority, the market will treat them as highly powerful. Never allow an external party to author the narrative of who you are or what your actions mean. Establish the parameters before you ever step foot into the room. Define exactly what your silence signals, what your absence conveys, and what your presence demands. Dismantle every frame you did not personally construct with your own hands, and compel the world to interact with you strictly on your terms. Protocol 5. Asymmetric dependence. This immutable law of human dynamics has governed every business transaction, corporate hierarchy, and tribal relationship since the very dawn of human civilization. The party that requires the other less always commands the absolute terms of the engagement. Machiavelli documented this asymmetric dynamic extensively throughout the chaotic courts of Europe. Leaders survived and thrived not merely through brute military strength, but by embedding themselves so deeply into the infrastructure of their states that they became completely irreplaceable to the survival of the system. A highly dispensable asset is always exposed to immediate elimination. An indispensable asset commands absolute leverage. You must engineer your career, your agency, and your personal presence around this reality. Cease chasing clients, stop begging for collaborative opportunities, and completely stop positioning yourself as a petitioner seeking an opportunity from a gatekeeper. Instead, focus your entire energetic output on becoming the asset the ecosystem cannot function without. Develop rare operational skill sets, acquire specialized knowledge that cannot be easily Googled, and project a professional presence that leaves an undeniable bleeding void the second you step away. When you enter an environment, your value should be immediately apparent. When you exit, the drop in operational capability should be highly disruptive to the organization. The reality of leverage: the market does not compensate your needs or your desperation, it rewards your irreplaceable utility. The unskilled, abundant professional begs for employment security and receives corporate platitudes before being downsized. The indispensable professional remains completely silent, says nothing, and receives premium compensation upgrades because losing their talent would cost the organization far more than paying their premium rate. The exact millisecond an individual realizes they depend on your capabilities more than you rely on their approval, the entire balance of power shifts permanently and structurally in your favor. Elevate your internal value until your silence alone causes your competitors to sweat. Protocol 6. Temporal mastery. The novice acts with immediate urgency. The master acts with absolute precision of timing. This is the dividing line between an accidental, temporary victory won by pure luck and sustained repeatable dominance achieved by deliberate design. Protocol 6 focuses entirely on the discipline of strategic delay, a highly underutilized maneuver within the Machiavellian framework. Modern digital culture is completely obsessed with hyper-acceleration. You are pushed by notifications to respond instantaneously, execute immediate decisions, and react to every incoming signal under the grand illusion that speed equates to competence. Most people fall into this trap because they mistake manufactured urgency for actual tactical importance. Machiavelli noted that elite strategists consistently separate themselves from impulsive operators through their iron command of timing. They delay actions not out of hesitation or fear, but because they realize that time is an active variable that fights on the side of the patient strategist who knows how to wield it. If a rival attacks your position and you strike back instantly, you are fighting on their timeline within a sandbox they initialized. Conversely, if you receive the blow, project absolute indifference. Let the situation marinate and execute a cold, devastating counter move 3 weeks later. You catch them completely off guard. Delay introduces profound ambiguity, and ambiguity triggers immense psychological anxiety in your opponents. When rivals cannot predict your cadence, map your schedule, or decode your next move, they begin overplaying their hand, making careless errors, overextending their resources, and burning through capital out of pure panic. In high-stakes corporate negotiations, the individual who responds immediately to a lowball proposal signals a total lack of alternative options. The operator who allows a low offer to sit in dead silence for days shifts the psychological pressure entirely back onto the opposing party. Knowing when to execute is far more critical than simply knowing what to execute. Control your temporal cadence and watch your patience become your competitor's greatest operational liability. The sovereignty of self-control. You now possess 9 distinct psychological instruments: non-reaction, strategic silence, calculated indifference, frame control, asymmetric utility, temporal delay, controlled scarcity, strategic underestimation, and clinical observation. Individually, they alter the playing field. Combined, they make your position completely untouchable. From this moment forward, stop debating with critics. Stop justifying your path to individuals who lack the vision to walk it. Stop begging for access to environments that are fundamentally beneath your capability. Build your own enterprise. Establish your own metrics, and let the market apply for a seat at your table. This isn't superficial arrogance, it is absolute strategic clarity. Your mental energy is a finite, premium resource. Never waste another drop of it on elements that fail to scale your vision. If this analysis completely rewired your strategic outlook, drop a comment below with the exact words, "I am the silence they cannot break." Let that serve as your line in the sand. If you are tracking this channel for the first time, make sure the algorithm doesn't drop our connection. Smash that like button to signal to the system that high-tier strategic content deserves distribution. Subscribe to the platform, because what we are building here is an elite circle of digital transformation. Turn on the notification bell so that the minute the next strategic weapon drops, you are fully armed before the rest of the market even wakes up. Now, step out into the arena, execute in absolute silence, and claim what is yours.